Hello students, welcome back to MegaMind Mentor. I am Honey. In this video, we are going to learn properties of multiplication of integers. Along with it, we are going to do first 5 questions of exercise 1b. So this video is going to be part 1 of exercise 1b, and in the next part, we are going to cover the remaining questions. So let's get into the video. So the first property of multiplication of integers is closure property. So according to closure property, when you multiply two integers, their product will also be an integer. So let us say if I multiply an integer called a with another integer called b, so their product, and let us say their product is c, so even this c will be an integer. So a is an integer, b is an integer, and their product is also an integer. Let us take an example to understand this. If I multiply 2, which is an integer, with minus 1, its product is going to be minus 2. So 2 is an integer, minus 1 is an integer, and their product minus 2 is also an integer. Now coming to the second property, which is called as commutative law for multiplication. According to this property, if I have two integers a and b, and when these two are multiplied, their product will always be equal to if I interchange their places and multiply them. It means b comes in place of a and a comes in place of b. Let us multiply 2 with minus 3. In this case, I am going to get my product as minus 6. And also let us check if I interchange their places, it means when b comes in place of a and a goes in place of b, then what is the product? So here also your product is going to be minus 6 only. So this is what commutative law states, that a into b will always be equal to b into a. Now coming to the next property, that is associative law for multiplication. Now according to this property, if there are integers like a, b, and c, and we have to multiply them to get the product, if I multiply a and b first, and this result I multiply with c, will be equal to the product of a, b, and c. If in this case I multiply these two together first, and then their product I multiply with a. It means grouping of integers for multiplication doesn't change our result. Like here, I have multiplied a and b first, and then we have multiplied the whole thing with c. In the second case, I have multiplied b and c first, and then the whole thing got multiplied with a. In both the cases, our answer or the product is going to come same. Let us see how. So I'm taking an example. 1 is multiplied with minus 2 is multiplied with 3. So here let us multiply these two first. So a is getting multiplied with b. So we get here minus 2, and this minus 2 gets multiplied with 3, and our final answer is minus 6. Likewise, take the second case. So here we have to multiply b and c first. So I will write 1 into minus 2 into 3, and we are going to multiply these two first. So 1 is here, minus 2 into 3 will give us minus 6, and when minus 1 gets multiplied with minus 6, we get minus 6. So you can see here that the products are same. Even after grouping them differently, the answers came same. So this is what associative law states. Now coming to very important property, that is distributive law over addition. There is something called as distributive law over subtraction as well, which I will let you know in a while. So let us first discuss what is distributive law of multiplication over addition. So for example, if I have a and this a gets multiplied with sum of b and c. So this whole thing is actually equal to when a is individually multiplied with b, a is individually multiplied with c, and their sum, right? So what here actually happened is that a got multiplied with b and a got multiplied with c, and since there is addition symbol in between, we are actually going to add these two products. That is why we have a plus sign in between them. So first multiply A with B, A with C, and finally add both of these products. So this is distributive law of multiplication over addition. And now let us understand what is distributive law over subtraction. So it is not much different. Just in place of addition sign, you will have a minus sign. So you have here subtraction operation. So in that case, first multiply A with B and A with C, and their products will get subtracted, right? Because here we are doing is distributive law over subtraction. So this is the small difference that comes along. So when it is case of addition, you need to add the products. When it is case of subtraction, you need to subtract the products. That's it. And it is one of the very important properties that we are actually going to make use in the exercise as well. Now coming to the fifth property, that is existence of multiplicative identity. So let us take any integer called a, and when I multiply this a with 1, or let us say I multiply this 1 with a, my answer is going to come a itself, right? So any number with 1 gives us the number itself, right? Or 1 into any number will give us the number itself. So here 1 is called the multiplicative identity for integers. So this one is called as multiplicative identity of integers. So for example, let us say we have a question minus 3 and I have to find its multiplicative identity, right? So what will be its multiplicative identity? I can write minus 3 as minus 3 into 1. And we know that this one is multiplicative identity for minus 3. So remember this term, one is called as multiplicative identity of integers. Now coming to another important property, that is existence of multiplicative inverse. So according to this property, we need two integers such that their product is equal to 1. And it is only possible when you multiply a number or an integer with its reciprocal. So reciprocal of a is 1 by a. So when you multiply a with 1 by a, you know that your product is going to come a, because these two will get cancelled out and you are just left with 1. So let us take an example to understand this. So if it is asked to find out multiplicative inverse of minus 4. So multiplicative inverse of minus 4 will be 1 upon minus 4. Why? Because when you multiply these two, you are going to get your product as 1, right? So multiplicative inverse of minus 4 is 1 upon minus 4. Now coming to the last property, that is property of 0, and it is very simple. Let us say we have an integer a and I have to multiply this with 0. It means I have to get their product. We know that product will be 0. Likewise, if 0 is there and I multiply it with any integer, we know that the product is going to be 0, right? So this is what is property of 0, that whenever an integer gets multiplied with 0, the product is 0, or when 0 is multiplied to any other integer, the product is 0. Now, these are the properties that we are going to make use in the exercise. So now let us start doing the exercise. Now coming to the first question that we have here is to multiply. So these are all the questions that we need to actually multiply and get our answer. Now if you see the first question, it is very simple. Here we have to multiply 16 with 9. 16 into 9 will give us 144. So their product is 144. Now coming to this 18 into minus 6. Now always remember that whenever you have to multiply two integers, you need to actually follow these two steps. Number one, multiply the numbers first, and secondly, put the sign. So let us solve this question based on these two steps. So here I have two numbers which is 18 and 6. So I will multiply them. So on multiplying 18 and 6, I get here 108. And now it's time to put the sign. So second step is to put the sign. We know that, so as 18 is a positive number here and 6 is a negative number, so we know minus and plus becomes minus, right? So our answer will be minus 108. So first multiply the numbers without their sign and finally put the sign. Coming to question number 3, 36 gets multiplied with minus 11. So first multiply 36 and 11. So on multiplying this, you are going to get here 396. And now it's time to put the sign. So for putting the sign, check 36 is a positive number, 11 is a negative number. So minus plus becomes minus. So your answer will be negative. Likewise, let us solve all the questions here. Minus 28 into 14. So first multiply 28 and 14 and its product will be 392. Next put the sign. So minus 14 is a positive number. So minus plus will give you minus. Next question. Minus 53 into 18. Now multiply first 53 and 18. You get here 954. And now put the sign. So minus 18 is positive. So minus plus is minus. So your answer is minus 954. Now minus 35 into 0. So we know that when you multiply any integer with 0, so here minus 35 is getting multiplied with 0. So our answer will be 0. And what is the name of this property? It is property by 0. Next is 0 into minus 23. So again, the answer will be 0. Coming to the next question, minus 16 into minus 12. So first multiply just the numbers. So we have 16 and 12. So on multiplying 16 and 12, we get 192. And now it's time to put the sign. So we know that minus and minus becomes plus. So our answer is positive 192. So we don't actually put this plus sign. So it is simply 190. Let us move to question number 9. Minus 105 gets multiplied with minus 8. So multiply 105 and 8 together and you get your answer as 840. Now check the sign. Step number 2, minus and minus becomes plus. So we don't write it, right? So it is just 840. Coming to question number 10, minus 36 gets multiplied with minus 50. So first 36 and 50 are to be multiplied and we get our answer as 1800. Now let us see the sign here. So minus is plus. So we don't write here plus sign, it is just 1800. Next is minus 28 into minus 1. 28 into 1 will give us 28. Minus is plus. So you get here plus 28. That is, your answer will be simply 28. Now coming to question number 12. 25 into minus 11. So multiply 25 and 11. You get here 275. And now 25 is a positive number. So plus minus will give us minus. So our answer is minus 275. Now let us do question number 2. To do question number 2, we have to follow associative law. It means first we have to multiply any two integers and then its product with the next integer that we have. Now coming to question number 1. So 3 into 4 is to be multiplied with minus 5. So what I will do is I will multiply these two first. So it will give me 3 into 4 is 12 and 12 is to be multiplied with minus 5. And we know 12 fives are 60. Now check the sign. So this is negative, this is positive. So plus minus is minus. So our answer is minus 60. In the same way, 2 into minus 5 into minus 6. So here, let us multiply these two together. So 5 into 6 will give us 30. 5, 6 are 30. Minus and minus is plus. It means this 30 will be a positive integer. Now 2 into 30 is 60. Next, minus 5 multiplied with minus 8 multiplied with minus 3. So we can multiply these two together. On multiplying 5 with 8, you get 40. Minus minus is plus, so it is just 40 here, and multiply this with minus 3. You will get here 40 into 3 is 120. 40 is positive, so plus minus, our final answer will have this minus sign because plus and minus becomes minus. So it is minus 120. In the next question, minus 6 into 6 is multiplied with minus 10. So what we can do here is let us multiply these two together. So 6 into 6 is 36. This is negative, this is positive. So minus plus is minus, and multiply this with minus 10. So minus minus is plus, and 36 into 10 will give us 360. So our answer will be a positive integer. Next, 7 into minus 8 into 3. Let us multiply these two together. Okay. So 7 gets multiplied with 8 threes are 24 minus, and this is a positive one. So minus plus is minus. Now what will be our answer? 7 into 24 is 168, and since 7 is positive, 24 is negative, so plus minus is minus. Likewise, let us do the last question. Minus 7 into minus 3 into 4. Now let us multiply the first two. So 7 into 3 is 21. Minus minus is plus, so it is just 21, and it is getting multiplied with 4. And we know that our answer will be 84. So in question number 2, we have followed associative law, in which we have grouped the numbers, we got their product, and then we multiplied it with the remaining number or integer. Now in question number 3, we have to rearrange these integers so that it is easier for us to get the product. Now let us see how we can do this rearrangement. So we know that 4 into 5 will be 20, and it is going to give me a number that has last digit as 0. And we know that multiplication with zeros is very easy. So we have an idea that we have to get 0 at the ones place or at the unit place. So we are going to group accordingly. In the first case, I will multiply these two first, and next I will multiply these two separately. So let us see what do we get. 4 into 5 will give us 20, and minus becomes plus. So it is just 20 here, and it is multiplied with 8 into 10 is 80, minus and minus is plus. So it is just 80. Now multiply these two integers. So 20 into 80 will give us 1600. That's it. Next is question number 2. In this question, we have to multiply 5 integers. Now we know that on multiplying 5 and 2, we are going to get 10, right? So let us multiply minus 5 and minus 2 first. And with that, we will multiply minus 6 into minus 7 into minus 3, right? So first we are going to multiply these two. On multiplying these two, we will get plus 10, and at the same time, let us multiply these two. Okay. So on multiplying these two, you will get here 42, right? 6 into 7 is 42, and minus minus will give us plus. So into minus 3. Now we can multiply these two together. Let us keep 10 separate. So 10 remains here, and we are multiplying 42 and 3. So on multiplying 42 and 3, you will get here 126 and it will have a minus sign with it because plus and minus becomes minus. Now let us multiply these two and get our answer. So it will be minus 1260. Okay. Likewise, let us do question number 3. So in question number 3, I will simply multiply these two first because they have zeros in them already. And with that, I will multiply the last two digits. So let us put the brackets. So multiply these two first and then these two, right? So minus 60 with minus 10 will give us 600 and minus will give us plus. So it is 600 and we are multiplying it with 5 into 1 is 5 minus is plus. Now 600 into 5 will give us 3000. It is 3000. Now the fourth question. So let us multiply these two first. So we get here minus 30 is multiplied with 20 into 5 is 100. Minus is plus. So it is just 100. And our answer will be minus 3000. Now in question number 5, I have to multiply minus 3 6 times. So I will write minus 3 is getting multiplied with another minus 3 for 6 times. Okay, so here we have minus 3 6 times. Now let us multiply all of them. So now let us multiply the numbers. It means we will multiply 3 6 times, right? So on multiplying 3 for 6 times, we get our answer as 729. And now put the sign. So you can see here that we have minus sign for even number of times. It means let us count how many minus signs do we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we have 6 times minus sign and 6 is an even number. So always remember if you have even number of minus signs then your answer will always be positive. Okay. So your result will always be positive. So here 729 will be a positive number. Likewise, minus 5 is to be multiplied 5 times here. So minus 5 is getting multiplied 5 times. So first multiply the number. It means just take 5 from here. So 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 will give you 3125. And now count how many negative signs do you have. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And we know that 5 is an odd number. And when you see you have odd number of minus signs getting multiplied, your answer or your product will be negative. Your answer will have that minus sign with it. So it is minus 3125. So here is a key to take away. If you have even number of minus signs getting multiplied, your product will be positive. If you have odd number of minus signs getting multiplied, your product will have that minus sign in it. Now coming to question number 7 and 8. Now these are the two questions which are mostly asked in the examination and let us see how we can do it. So here minus 1 is to be multiplied for 200 times, right? It means minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 till 200 times you have to multiply this. Okay, so do not write it 200 times. Instead, let us use the smart way. So what are we going to do? We are going to multiply first the numbers. So we know that 1 gets multiplied with get 1, we get 1. So 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into 1 is 1. Likewise, till 200 times, our answer is going to come 1 only because 1 is the number that is getting multiplied 200 times. So we will get product as 1. Now we have to see how many minus signs do we have. So we have 200 minus signs, right? And 200 is an even number. And we just learned that when you have even number of minus signs, your answer will always be positive. So your answer will be just 1. Okay, so 1 is your answer. Coming to the last question, that is question number 8. Here minus 1 is getting multiplied for these many times. So let us first multiply the numbers. So 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into 1 is 1. Likewise, till 171 times, you are going to get your product as 1. And let us check what sign are we going to put. So we know that 171 is an odd number. Our answer will be having that minus sign in it. It means our answer is going to be negative. So here our answer is minus 1. Now let us solve question number 4. They are asking us here what will be the sign of the product. It means we have to just tell whether our product is positive or negative. 90 negative integers and 9 positive integers. So in that case, let us first find the sign of this. So when I multiply 90 negative integers, so 90 is an even number, and we know that if the minus sign is for even number of times, the final sign or the final product sign will be positive. So it means when I multiply 90 negative integers, my final sign will be positive. Likewise, if I multiply 9 positive integers, if I multiply any 9 positive integers, my answer is anyhow going to be positive, right? Because they are positive integers, right? So plus and plus becomes plus only. Now here we have two signs. When you multiply these two, since both of them are positive, your answer also will be what? Positive. So for question number 4, you can just write the answer in one single line that the sign of the product will be positive. Coming to question number 5, what will be the sign of product? So again, we have to just tell the sign. If we multiply 103 negative integers with 65 positive integers. Now when we multiply 103 negative integers, 103 is an odd number, and we know that when we have to multiply odd times a negative integer, the final product will have a minus sign with it, or it will be a negative product, right? So on multiplying this, we are going to get some number with this minus sign. And here on multiplying 65 positive integers, we know since they are positive, so our answer will be positive only. Now we have to multiply these two. So when minus and plus gets multiplied, our answer will always be negative, right? So you can write the answer for question number 5 in one single line that the sign of the product. So these were the first 5 questions that we have completed from exercise 1B. Now let us quickly do MegaMind WrapUp. So in this video, we have discussed about various properties of multiplication of integers that included closure property, commutative law, associative law, distribution over addition, and also over subtraction. Then we have discussed about multiplicative identity, multiplicative inverse, and the property of zero. Among these, the most important ones are distributive law over addition and then multiplicative inverse. So it is distributive law here over addition and subtraction. Hope this video was helpful. In part 2 of this video, we are going to solve the remaining questions of this exercise. So stay tuned and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. See you in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.